Great. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Ridgewood Village Council, this is our regular public meeting. The date is November 9th, 2022, and the time is 8 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule, including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Perrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Reynolds.
Here.
Councilman Vagianos.
Here.
And Mayor Newton.
Here. Please join us for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us in a moment of silence for all of our men and women serving our nation and all first responders. Thank you. Before we continue, we just have a few things we want to mention. We want to acknowledge the passing of former Mayor Pat Mancuso. I first met Pat actually when he came to my home and knocked on my front door and introduced himself as a candidate for Village Council. That was quite some time ago. We actually stood on my front porch and spoke quite for some time about Ridgewood, the village, and sports. It was apparent to me really just how much Pat loved Ridgewood, and he did serve for 2 decades. He was sworn into office on July 1st, 1990, and served until noon, high noon, July 1st, 2010. Village residents were fortunate to have Pat Mancuso serve on Village Council, including as mayor for 8 consecutive years from 1992 until 2000. Among his accomplishments were the implementation of outdoor cafes, which is interesting, and in 1993, in fact, implementing the first televising of Village Council meetings live, not recorded, which was unprecedented at the time. No one else was actually doing that. Pat also sought space for a youth community center. The final location, as many know, is right here downstairs in Village Hall. Absent social media, the more regular use of email, Mayor Mancuso was known as the walking mayor. During his downtown strolls, he greeted countless residents and chatted with them about the village and their concerns. Strangers quickly became friends. For this reason, in many ways, Mayor Mancuso was a transitional mayor as the world and the village moved into a less personal way of communicating, which we are all too familiar with today. Pat loved his country and his community, including football, his church, and Ridgewood's 4th of July celebration. But more than anything, Pat loved his family. The village has been truly enriched by Pat Mancuso's love of Ridgewood and love for his community. He died on October 28th at the age of 84. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. Thank you.
That's a very nice tribute. Thank you.
Thank you. Another matter. Yesterday's Village Council election ended with a decisive victory for both Evan Weiss and Siobhan Winograd. I am very excited for Ridgewood as come January, village residents will have the new leadership and the council voters selected. In addition to completing those things I have already worked on, they've promised a new direction for the village and they've committed to accomplishing many great things. I look forward to their service, wish them the very best, and of course, wish them great success. I would also like to thank Jim Bangor for stepping up to the plate. It is not an easy thing to do at all. I hope that our residents and council colleagues will be both appreciative and gracious. Congratulations, Evan and Siobhan, and congratulations, Village of Ridgewood. Thank you. Oh, it is. Okay. As of October 31st, 2022, be accepted as submitted.
Second.
Perrin.
Yes.
Reynolds.
Abstain.
Vagianos.
Yes.
And Newton.
Yes. I move that the Village Council minutes of October 3 and October 12, 2022, having been reviewed by the Village Council and now available in Village Clerk's office, be approved as submitted.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Abstain.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Okay. With that, we will go to comments from the public, not to exceed 3 minutes per person, for a total of 40 minutes. No public comment? Nothing? Okay. With that, if there's no public comment, going once, twice, all right, gone. Village Manager's report.
Okay. 1 second. I'm going to talk about the leaf flyer again. It's a yellow postcard. Just remember to put your leaves out during the leaf placement dates. Our crews will come by after that time. I want to also make you aware of an exciting new recycling thing that we're going to do, which is recycling used or expired cooking oil at our recycling center. They will only accept canola, corn, cottonseed, grapeseed, olive, palm, peanut, safflower, sesame, soybean, sunflower, and vegetable oil. No shortening or lard, no avocado or coconut oil, and no motor oil. So just follow these easy steps. Pour the used cooled vegetable cooking oil into a disposable leak-proof plastic container, preferably the original one and no larger than 5 gallons in size. Tighten the container cap. Do not mix the used vegetable cooking oil with any other liquids or products, and then bring the full container to the recycling center and hand it to our attendant. So that's another thing that Ridgewood is going to be recycling. Upcoming local events, November 11th at 11 a.m. at Memorial Park at Van Ness Square. American Legion Post 53 will be hosting a Veterans Day service. All are invited to attend to honor those who have served in the armed forces to protect our freedom. November 11th, all village departments and offices will be closed in observance of Veterans Day. There will be no garbage or recycling pickup on this day, and the recycling center will also be closed. Please check your village calendars, as the garbage and recycling pickups may change due to the holiday. November 14th, from 3 to 5 p.m., there will be a COVID booster shot for ages 12 and older and a flu shot for ages 4 and older here in Village Hall on the first floor. For the COVID booster, you must register www.ridgewoodnj.net/COVID-registration by tomorrow, and must have had your final dose or booster before 9/14/22. For the flu shot, please call Valley Health at 201-291-6090. Minors must have a parent or guardian present, and all attending the clinic must wear a mask regardless of vaccination status. November 19th, there's a drive-through mobile shredding event at the Graydon Pool parking lot from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. When the truck is full, the event will be over. So please try to come earlier in the day than closer to 12:30, because it does tend to fill up. Please stay in your vehicle. No walk-ups. Documents will be securely shredded. Place your items for shredding in a paper bag or a cardboard box only. No plastic bags. Limit 4 file-size boxes per vehicle. It's free to all Ridgewood residents and businesses. November 24th and 25th, all village departments and offices will be closed in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. There will be no garbage or recycling pickup on the 24th, and the recycling center will also be closed. On November 25th, there will be garbage and recycling pickup, and the recycling center will be open. Check your village calendar again for garbage and recycling, as your pickups may change. November 26th, in Memorial Park at Van Ness Square from noon to 3 p.m. will be Ridgewood Guild Winterfest, and also it's Small Business Saturday. There will be a tractor-pulled hay wagon ride, trackless train ride, story time, a food truck with hot cocoa, cider, and coffee, and ice sculptor and seasonal music to help everyone get into the holiday spirit. Also, because it's Small Business Saturday, please visit our stores and shops and eateries in the Central Business District to support our local businesses. On December 2nd, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., the Ridgewood Chamber of Commerce will be holding its annual Downtown for the Holidays, Village Trucks on Holiday. The pedestrian plaza will extend from East Ridgewood Avenue to Broad Street. Music and s'mores will be in Memorial Park at Van Ness Square, as well as a snow globe for pictures. Ski movies will be on a big screen on Walnut Street, courtesy of Mount Everest. Trucks on holiday up and down East Ridgewood Avenue. A trackless train in front of Memorial Park at Van Ness Square. On the west side, there will be more trucks on holiday. A band, Kids Corner with arts and crafts, sidewalk chalking, Elf on the Shelf, and Venture Studio taking pictures for free. Dancers in store windows and choral groups throughout the Central Business District. The Ridgewood High School Band will be roaming throughout the event. And also keep an eye out for Santa, who will be seen in various locations on both the east and west sides. Village Council upcoming meetings are broadcast live here from the courtroom on Village website and Channel 34 on BIOS. December 7th and is a Village Council Public Work Session at 7:30. December 14th is our public meeting at 8 p.m. On January 4th will be our reorganization meeting and the Village Council Public Work Session at 7:30 p.m. And January 11th will be our Village Council Public Meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you. We'll go to council reports. Paul.
Thank you, Susan. I met with the Community Center Advisory Board this week, and they are hosting an elder dinner at the Paramus Church on East Glen Avenue this Sunday at 3 o'clock. Stacy Antine of Health Barn will be corralling a slew of volunteers, and they will be preparing all the food for this. Also, we were discussing the Anchor Property Tax Relief Program, and I want to bring this out to as many people as we can. This is the state program that replaced the homestead rebate program, and homeowners and renters are all eligible for it. It looks like this. You all received it in the mail. Actually, as homeowners, you received it. Renters did not necessarily, but you can get it by going online to find it. And it's the Anchor Benefit Filing Program. And it's for people of any age, not just seniors, and those making $150,000 a year or less will get a rebate of $1,500. Those making between $150,000 and $250,000 will get $1,000. Renters making less than $150,000 a year will get a rebate of $450 a year, and you can find this information under the New Jersey Division of Taxation website. This form is due by the end of the year. Also met with the Board of Education this week, and three major issues. They are still working on their master schedule meshing with the village's fields, and they are not yet completed on that. Next, they are continuing the search process for a new superintendent of schools. And finally, they are still looking at the start time for the high school and potentially the middle school of making it a little later in the day. They have not yet made a final decision, but expect to be making one no later than February. And that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Just real quick, can we put an Anchor link to, yeah, thank you. Okay, very good. Councilwoman Reynolds.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have any committee meetings since last week, but I just wanted to say that several members of the Project Pride Committee met at Van Ness Memorial Park this weekend, and Deputy Mayor Perrin joined us, and we emptied all of the flower pots downtown, swept up, and we put a few inches of mulch on top of each flower pot to make it look a little neat and hopefully deter anyone from using the pots as a garbage can or an ashtray during the winter. Special shout out to my husband Jim, who we used his truck and his strength and could not have done it without him. Thanks. That's it.
Very good. Deputy Mayor Perrin.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to congratulate Erin Weitz and Siobhan Winograd for their win in the election earlier this week, and I look forward to working with them as council colleagues. I also would like to thank Mayor Knudsen and former Fire Chief Van Gore for running and making that outreach. I'm sure it wasn't easy. Every time you tried to connect with voters. You're getting them interested and engaged, and that's so important to good government. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Also, the Chamber of Commerce met this morning, and their chamber guide, the annual chamber guide, is going out today to about 10,200 homes and businesses in Ridgewood and in neighboring areas. And it's just a wealth of information, not just for all the businesses in town, but also for the schools, the houses of worship, the hospital, and transportation. It's just a great resource. Also in the middle is a bonus card that you can use going to various shops and restaurants in town, and on the back are all the participating businesses. So look for this in your mailbox. The Chamber of Commerce is also running a coats drive. They are looking for men's coats for size large and extra large, which they will donate to the West Bergen Mental Health organization. And women's coats will go to Never Alone Again, which is an outfit in Teaneck for women who have fled from an abusive situation and didn't bring coats with them. So that goes through, they're making their delivery on November 18th. So if you can bring any coats you don't need that are in good condition to 27 Chestnut Street, that's where the Chamber of Commerce is, and they will deliver whatever coats they collect. Also, there are several new members who joined the Chamber of Commerce. They are working on a strategic planning guide to define roles within their organization and to provide for future succession. You may have heard that the executive director of the YMCA in Ridgewood is leaving. He's going to take a job supervising several YMCAs in Rochester, New York. And we met today the interim executive director who was filling in. His name is Chuck Benigno, and that was good to meet him. Feed the Front Lines, by the end of this week, will have delivered just about 56,000 meals to people who are in need. They also do need drivers for this round through December. If you can volunteer, you can sign up on Sign Up Genius, Feed the Front Lines on Facebook or their website. The Shade Tree Commission met last night and confirmed that, yes, this morning at 7 a.m., the tree cutting in downtown Ridgewood started. They are first going to remove all the trees from the tree well, not all of them, but the ones that are unhealthy or hazardous or that pose a problem. They will be cutting those down. Unfortunately, it's a rather noisy business, but they're going through it very rapidly. Once they have removed them all, they will be digging out the soil and replanting with appropriate trees. They also decided, something I mentioned at our last meeting, their term is currently 5 years for people who are serving on the Shade Tree Commission, and there was a distinct consensus that they would like to go to a 3-year term, and also that they didn't feel that having alternate members was necessary. So we should make a resolution to that effect if council approves that. And let's see. They also distributed door-to-door notice to shops downtown for them to post and let their customers know that the change with the trees is happening, removal and replanting, so that people wouldn't be totally surprised. Let's see. I did want to mention, in terms of environmental things, Stop and Shop is no longer accepting plastic bags for recycling. However, Whole Foods is. The village is not at this point. Apparently, it requires having a baler to do that, and we don't have a baler. And with regard to the recycling of vegetable oil, yes, you bring your container with the vegetable oil to the recycling center, but don't expect to get your container back. So that's all I have.
Okay, very good. And I just wanted to say thank you for your opening remarks. They were very kind and thoughtful and dignified. With that, we will go to the Ridgewood Water Department resolutions.
Yes, we have no ordinances for Ridgewood Water, so the following resolutions, number 22-360 through 22-362, will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the village council. They will be read by title only. Title 59 approval, roof repairs, various Ridgewood Water facilities. Award contract, roof repairs, various Ridgewood Water facilities. Authorized refund of water overpayment, 19 Fieldmere Avenue, Glen Rock. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Perrin,
yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Okay. I move the first reading of ordinance 3928.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 3928 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 190 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Land Use and Development, at Section 190-122, signs.
I move that ordinance 3928 be adopted on first reading and that December 14th, 2022 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, I move the first reading of ordinance 3929.
Second. Oh, excuse me.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. So will the clerk please read ordinance 3929 by title?
An ordinance amending provisions, Article 13, affordable housing.
I move that ordinance 3929 be adopted on first reading and that December 14th, 2022 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
I second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, I move the first reading of ordinance 3930.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. So will the clerk please read ordinance 3930 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Vehicles and Traffic, at Section 265-33, permit parking.
I move that ordinance 3930 be adopted on first reading and that December 14th, 2020 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
2022.
Oops. December 14th, 2022. Sorry.
Okay.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3931.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 3931 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Administration of Government.
I move that ordinance 3931 be adopted on first reading and that December 14th, 2022 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3922 by title on second reading and the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3922?
An ordinance to amend salary ordinance 3882, fixing the salaries, wages, and other compensation, and to establish the employee agreement of certain non-union officers and employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey for the year 2022.
Public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3922 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes, I move the clerk read ordinance 3923 by title on second reading and the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3923?
An ordinance to amend salary ordinance 3881, fixing the salaries, wages, and other compensation of non-union employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey for the year 2022.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3923 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
I second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3924 by title on second reading and the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3924?
An ordinance to fix the salaries, wages, and other compensation and to establish the employee agreement of certain non-union officers and employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey for the year 2023.
Public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
I move that.
Perrin,
Sorry. Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3924 be adopted on second reading and the final publication as required by law.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3925 by title on second reading and the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3925?
An ordinance to fix salaries, wages, and other compensation of non-union employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey for the year 2023.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3925 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3926 by title on second reading, the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3926?
A bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of equipment for the water pollution control facility in and by the Village of Ridgewood and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $1,390,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,177,000 bonds or notes of the village to finance part of the cost thereof.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3926 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
I second the motion.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3927 by title on second reading and the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3927?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 145 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood fees at Section 145-6, enumeration of fees relating to code chapters.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds.
Oh,
To
yes,
close
this
the
is just for
hearing.
closing the
To
hearing,
close the
yes.
hearing. Vagianos
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3927 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
I'm going to vote no because I don't believe that our permits should go up at all this year.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
The following resolutions number 22-363 through 22-378 will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the Village Council. They will be read by title only. Title 59, approval, resurfacing of Prospect Street. Award contract, resurfacing of Prospect Street. Award contract under state contract, Spatial Data Logic software license renewal. Award contract under state contract, purchase, installation, and maintenance of equipment for police vehicles. Rescind and replace resolution number 22-305, printing a village calendar. Authorize rebid of furnishing, delivering, and emergency services departments. Authorize execution of agreement, transfer a portion of Barrington Road. Establish annual service charge for Ridgewood Senior Citizen Housing Corporation, Inc. Authorize refund of property tax overpayment. Authorize cancellation of capital ordinance budget balances. Accept donation, restoration of North Broad Street Garden at Ridgewood Train Station. Declare property surplus, police car. Request review and approval of 2022 spending plan for Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Authorize bonding to fund shortfall for affordable housing programs. Adopt affirmative marketing plan for affordable housing in the Village of Ridgewood. Appoint municipal affordable housing liaison. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos,
Yes.
and Newton.
Yes.
The following resolution, number 22-379, will be considered separately and read in full. Whereas it has been determined to be in the best interest of the Village of Ridgewood to institute a holiday parking program to promote shopping and dining during the month of December. And whereas the Village of Ridgewood has designed a holiday parking plan which will designate free parking on the second and third floors of the Hudson Street Garage only during all Saturdays in December leading up to Christmas 2022. And whereas those using the free parking spaces in the Hudson Street Garage are limited to a maximum of 4 hours while the parking kiosks are in effect from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And whereas the free parking spaces are to be used solely by shoppers and those coming to dine or do business in the Village of Ridgewood Central Business District. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council hereby authorizes the holiday parking plan whereby all shoppers and those coming to dine or do business in the Village of Ridgewood Central Business District be granted free parking for 4 hours on the approved and designated dates on the second and third floors of the Hudson Street Garage only, and be it finally resolved that this holiday parking plan shall only be in effect on the following dates: December 3rd, December 10th, December 17th, and December 24th, 2022. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Perrin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Vagianos.
I'm voting no on this because, as I've said for many years to this council, I find this program to be counterproductive because what happens is employees who get here get to work earlier than shoppers and diners, wind up taking the spaces all day. And so instead of making them available for shoppers and diners, employees simply lock up the spaces all day. So I'm voting no.
Okay. Newton.
I'm going to vote yes.
Okay.
With that, we'll go back to public comment, not to exceed 5 minutes per person.
Good evening, everybody. Ann Loving, 342 South Irving Street. First thing I'd like to say is that thank you very much for that beautiful statement that you made about Pat Mancuso. It's very much appreciated. Obviously, you put some effort into, getting some backstory on him, and I really liked it. Secondly, I would like to thank Mayor Knutson for running, and also Jim Van Gore, who's not here. Mayor Knutson, you've given a lot to the village, and I hope that come January you're going to have some time with your family and your grandchildren, and we will certainly miss you here in this room. Thank you for running.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Boyd A. Loving, 342 South Irving Street. Just like to comment on something that the manager read during her report, and that was the indication that there would be a combination flu and COVID vaccine clinic on November 14th. I am pleased that the manager pointed out that there would be a mask mandate during that event. My wife and I both attended the event on October 6th, which was the flu clinic, and we were shocked to walk into the room and find that most people weren't wearing masks. We do not understand what happened that day, but I do hope that if there is a mask mandate in place for the event on the 14th, that it is enforced and that there are some paper masks available for those who walk in without masks that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Boyd. Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to close public comment and take a resolution to go into closed session.
Be resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council meet in closed session on November 9th, 2022 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter on the agenda can be reached, and that said closed session be held in the caucus room on the 4th floor of the Ridgewood Village Hall, 131 North Maple Avenue, Ridgewood, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that the matters to be discussed in closed session are limited to legal matters to include RGRME, lawsuit, and contract negotiation matters to include PBA negotiation. These matters are allowable under NJSA 10:4-12 et sec. And be it further resolved that the minutes of this meeting shall be made available to the general public when such matters have been deemed completed by resolution of the Village Council. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone out there. Have a good evening.